Hey everybody, welcome to the A2 English Lesson Practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today I'm going to talk about job interviews. It's extremely important topic because usually in order to get job you need to pass a job interview. Many people get nervous when they have to interview for a job because it can be intimidating or even scary. So, why don't we discuss some of the different elements of job interviews and maybe I can give you some tips that might help you with future interviews. First of all, let's talk about different type of job interviews. For example, there are one-on interview and their group interview. Most interview are typically conducted one-on-one, but I have actually had one or two group interview before. Also, there are phone interview, video interview, and in-person interview. And there are general interview, behavioral interview, and technical interview. The type of question you're asked can be really different depending on the type of interview, and the view of the interview can also be really different. So, for example, preparing for a behavioral interview is different than preparing a technical interview. You might be able to answer all the technical questions well, but maybe you don't know how to answer questions about personality or your achievement. Have I have many English learners prepare for job interview in English, and usually it's hard for them to answer general and behavioral questions. They can answer technical questions easily, but not the more general ones. So let me teach you a good structure that you can use to answer general questions during interview. Remember though that I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion, okay? So for general question in job interview with American employers, you can structure your answer like this. First, listen the question, then introduce your main points, then explain each point in detail, and lastly, relate the question again. Let me give you a clear example of this. Let's say they ask you a question, what should we hire? How you can answer using the structure I showed you. First, restate the question, you should hire me because blah blah blah. Then introduce your main point. You should hire me because I'm a personally worker and because I'm a creative problem solver. Next, explain each point in detail. Explain how your responsibility worker and give expenses for that. And explain how you are a creative problem solver and give evidence for that. And lastly, restate the question again. So, what is it why you should hear me? The structure might seem simple, but it's effective. If you follow this structure when answering general questions, you will sound more prepared and more professional. Of course, if they ask you other type of question, the structure will be different. For example, if they ask you a behavioral question like tell me about time when you overcame a difficult challenge, you should use STAR method to answer this type of question. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. So first, you explain the situation and give the context regarding the difficult challenge you face. Then you describe the task that your responsibility was in that situation. Next, you talk about your action. What did you do to overcome the difficult? And lastly, you talk about the result, the outcome of your action. This formula is a great way to answer behavioral questions. And my last advice for gathering jobs interview is be confident. Believe in yourself and in your skill. And if the job interview is in English, make sure you prepare and memorize some set phrases that you know would like. Alright, I'm going to ask you some questions today video to see how you will understood. 1. Name two different types of interview. What's the first step when answering general interview question? 1. 3. What does the STAR method stand for? I'll see you next time.